All right, and we are live. So welcome everybody. It is the NursePreneur Pitchfest, and I am one of your hosts, Katie Harris, owner and CEO of NursePreneurs, and I'm here with my business partner, Jill.
Hi everybody, I'm Jill Weberding. I'm CEO and founder of NurseAssure.
And we have two lovely coaches with us today, or actually judges. They're coaches and judges. So we have two judges with us today. The first one is Kimball. Kimball, you want to introduce yourself and your business?
Sure. I'm Kimball Brad. I am the founder and CEO of Elite Concierge Nurses and IV Hydration Nation.
Excellent. And we also have Charlene Diamond. Charlene, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. I'm Charlene Diamond. I'm the founder and CEO of Integra Nurse, which is an integrative concierge nurse service.
Okay, so we're very excited to get on with what we're doing today is 2-minute pitches. So our contestants have all recorded 2-minute pitches. What we're going to do is listen to each pitch, and all of them are under 2 minutes, which is great. And we are going to do a critique. Now, Jill has worked with the contestants, so she knows the pitch. I have a kind of an idea what everybody's doing, but Charlene and Kimball don't know these nurses. They don't know the pitches. They're hearing it for the very first time, just like you are. So what we're going to be doing is giving feedback based on how it's presented to us. And because Jill and I are somewhat close to it and Jill's closer to it, you know, sometimes we can be like, oh yeah, I kind of know what she means. But if Charlene and Kimball don't know what she means, then that's what we want to get at the heart of. Any thoughts on that, Jill?
Go ahead. I was like, yeah, we're simulating kind of the warm and cold market. And I haven't heard their pitches. I don't know, like I did not help them with construct their pitch. I helped them all the way through, like, you know, creating what this is, the solution, what their business model was going to look like in messaging, but their pitch, all on their own.
Oh, well, that makes this even more exciting then. Yeah. All right, awesome. So what we'll do is we'll get started. So you can please put your comments in the chat box if you want to hear, if you have something to add to the conversation here, please put them in there. If you want to learn more about our contestants, definitely go to the nursepreneurpitchfest.com, and I will put the URL in there as well. But while we are, what I'm going to do is share my screen, and we're going to get started. Let's see.
I'm so excited. I know, Joniel, you all will meet Dr. Joniel here very shortly, but I teased last night. I was like, this is like Christmas week for me. I love Pitchfest week. It is so exciting to see, you know, kind of come to fruition what these nurses have been working so hard on the last number of weeks. Right? Are you guys excited, Kimball? Like,
yeah, super excited. Yes, super excited to hear the ideas and how everything is developed. Yes.
Yeah, and it's great to have both of you here because you have completely different nursing experiences, and even though you're, you know, you're also, you know, a veteran nursepreneur, so like you know what it's like to do a pitch. So you come from that experience, and you know what people are looking for.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was on mute there for a second. All right, so first up we have Esther, and let's hear what Esther is talking about with her 2-minute pitch.
Hi, are you a nurse? Do you want to start your own healthcare recruitment business but do not know where to start? Do you want to start now and can't afford to wait until you get a business qualification? Do you want to start your business debt-free? Well, if you have answered yes to any of these questions, then my 8-week insider guide to how to start your healthcare recruitment business might be what you're looking for. I'm Esther, and I help nurses start their own healthcare recruitment business using their skills and knowledge without having to buy into a franchise and start their business debt-free. This guide will help you get from...
Katie, you got a super echo going on.
...and unlock your potential as a business owner.
Okay.
It's like hard to understand it because of the echo.
It's hard for me to hear this as well, to be honest. I think it's the video. It's Charlene and Kimball, you're hearing the same thing Jill's hearing?
The echoey.
Yes, I'm here.
Me too.
Let me try. Can you go to the next one, Katie, and I can try to resend it to you
Okay.
so that we can for sure hear her pitch,
Okay.
because otherwise we won't know.
All right. I'm going to put you guys on mute for a second while this is going.
Okay.
This is the state's case against Gypsy.
Except that we're not on mute. Yeah. So, there you go. Okay. Here's the next one.
You ready? So this is Nina Hart. And yeah, let me know if there's echo again.
Okay.
What if I told you I could help you save your long-term care organization up to $500,000 in labor expenses in the next 6 months? And you could take your facilities from chaos and crisis to stable and self-reliant in the next 90 days. With my SOS Stabilize Your Staffing program for nursing facilities, you can do both. I'm Nina Hart, and with over a decade in long-term care management and as a former director of nursing myself, I know it can feel impossible to get everything done. My 13-week consulting package was designed to work closely with the facility clinical leadership to get laser focused on their staffing, rapidly remedy open positions, and become fully staffed with permanent local staff. Multiple studies have shown increased agency use and high turnover rates negatively impact patient and survey outcomes as well as quality measures. But SOS can help eliminate or greatly reduce reliance on agency and empower your nursing directors to manage their staffing effectively and with confidence. They'll execute an action plan created specifically for the staffing stability of their facility. Ultimately, staffing affects every aspect of the facility and organization success. Not only does improving your staffing improve your survey outcomes and your quality measures, but it also makes your facility more appealing to the community to live in and work at. So if you're ready to stop hemorrhaging revenue on labor costs and improve your patient and survey outcomes, reputation, and census capacity, reach out today to learn more about how the SOS program can help. What if I told you?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to assume that there was not the echo, or was there the echo?
No, I could hear that one fine.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, guys. So we have Nina with the SOS program. Let's see. I don't want to put Kimball and Charlene on the spot, but who wants to go first and tell us? Oh, let me give you some guidelines. Some guidelines for everybody. So for the Pitchfest round 1 here, we want to know if you found it interesting. Can you remember it, which is a huge piece of their pitch. Like if people can't remember what you just said, that's a problem. Was it believable? Do you have a clear picture of who Nina can help? And do you think this presenter was trustworthy? Did you seem like somebody that you could do business with?
Sure, I'll go first. For me, yes, it was very interesting. I do remember what Nina said. She presented herself in a very professional manner. I have the impression that she is an expert in her field. I loved how she touched on all the different aspects of how staffing can affect practices and what the buyer would get out of her class. I would absolutely buy from her. And of course, she seems trustworthy to me, just that came across in her professionalism. So yeah, I thought it was really good. Really good. Very thorough.
I agree. I don't know. Kimball, do you want to go next? Thanks, Charlene.
Oh, sure.
Sure, I'll go next. I think Nina did come across very professional. I did hear SOS several times, so I feel like I kind of know the name of her program. And I did hear things like save you money. Okay, so those are keywords that I would definitely remember. So I found it interesting. Anytime you say make lots of money or save me money, I'm going to remember that. I did believe her. I guess who can benefit from it is kind of a no-brainer. I guess if I'm a business who wants to save money on staffing, because I heard her say improve staffing several times as well, then I would know that. But I don't know. I feel like I wanted to hear a little bit more about who it could benefit, but that's just me. And yes, she was very trustworthy.
Yeah.
Now, Kimball's used to be a busy OR manager. So she was a supervisor, nurse manager. So, you know, what is interesting is Nina had used the words permanent staff. Does that appeal to you?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, those keywords kind of stood out to me. This improved staffing, save me money. You know, was this more though for a big organization, or was it for, you know, who was it for? I know it's got to be for some kind of facility, but what kind of facility? So anyway, but everything else was great. It was very interesting. I remembered it, believable. She's very trustworthy, and I would probably buy it with just a little bit more of information.
So I guess the point being, you would ask her more, but you probably want to hear her 5-minute pitch.
Yeah. So it made you curious enough, you're interested enough to hear more, for sure.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Agree.
Katie, do you want to do your take on Nina's?
Yeah, no, I like Nina's a lot. She was very calm, very professional. I heard, again, permanent staff, save money. Those are great buzzwords that I feel like at some level they're kind of overused and redundant, but they still capture my attention every single time. I'm like, oh, you know, like, you know, they're believable. And I think that what she's offering, I do think there needs to be a little bit more strength in her coming out and saying, you know, because I feel like maybe the whole pitch was the same tone, which was very nice, but I feel like there needs to be some serious emphasis on, did you know that I can, you know, really save you, like, you know, a number, like, and she might have said it, but everything kind of was very,
It blended for you?
Yeah, it blended for me. So the same emphasis on all the words. So there's not the same weight on the words. There, in a pitch, there's like, did you know I could save your facility $500,000? And big
And it was that number.
Yeah.
You did say that number.
I know. I remember hearing it, but it just didn't jump out again at me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So like for me, I would agree with that. Like in the very beginning, like I think the very first thing she said was long-term care. And that's where like she talked about, which is such a huge problem, you know, like the temporary staffing. And that's why the number was so big. I love that she said the giant number of 500,000 in there, because it does like, what, you know, kind of perk up your ears when you hear a number like that. I like that she said how long like what it is. It's a 13-week program. And she definitely honed in, I think, on the right keywords, like Kimball said, of, you know, when you're talking to organizations like that, they either want to hear make money or save me money. And so she definitely got that across. And I agree with Charlene as well, that I liked, she talked about survey outcomes, which again, makes me think of, you know, like those long-term care organizations, quality and reputation. So I think she hit some of those pain points that if you are the right person in the audience, like those are going to be resonating with you. She looked very professional. But yeah, I agree. Great job.
I missed the long-term care part somehow.
Did you? Yeah. It was like the very first sentence. So again, like that's an idea of like, maybe that can come back if you bring that back in at the end. Yes. It's a reminder of, you know, I remember her saying the word hemorrhage money, and I'm like, what? Right? Like those things stick out when you hear them.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what C-suite and, you know, directors of nursing and, you know, those people at the, you know, high level of admin, that will be, you know, buzzwords for them as well.
Yeah. And I do think a tone and emphasis makes a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's go back to Sharon's screen. And next up, we have Jenny, and I know you guys will tell me if there's any issues.
Yeah.
Please stop me.
So you got the call, the one that, yes, you have breast cancer. You're probably shocked, scared, angry, overwhelmed, unsure what to do next, who to turn to. Do you cry, scream? How do you begin to make sense of it? Where do you get more information? How do you begin to face this? Even more, face it calmly and with any type of clarity. My name is Jenny, and I'm an oncology nurse who has experience working with breast cancer patients. And I help my clients deal with all of the initial, what just hit me type of questions. I will help you sift through and sort out information and get you feeling prepared, supported, and equipped for the journey ahead. Can you imagine just how different your journey could be if you had an ally to help you when needed, a companion to help on a regular basis, or a full partner by your side every step of the way? I will be there to ease those fears and the shock, explain things that seem overwhelming much more simply, provide you support not only for the emotional part of being a cancer patient, but also for help mentally preparing for the multiple doctor's appointments and for the treatment that you're about to face. I will help you manage the physical side effects from that treatment, answer the questions that will inevitably pop up once you've already left the doctor's office, and you're truly feeling supported and informed as you face your journey. I'm passionate about making sure that my clients feel confident as they face their journey, and it would truly be my pleasure to assist you, your family member, or your friend during this challenging time.
Okay. Wow. That's, I just want to start out by saying that was really powerful. She had me like from the first word. I was like, wow, it was a great story, emotional, compelling. I don't want to steal the spotlight here though. Kimball, Charlotte.
Kimball, you want to start? Then we'll sort of start after Katie.
Sure. I think Jenny definitely had a great beginning. Oh, okay. She really caught my attention as well with you got the call. You have breast cancer. Gosh, that's like, oh goodness. But yeah, so I believed her. I felt like, yeah, she sounds like a navigator to me. So someone not knowing what a navigator is, I think in that position and scared to death and, really don't know where to turn, I definitely would find her trustworthy. And I do know who can benefit from this because she told me right from the beginning, it's you that's got the call, that's been diagnosed. And it was interesting. The only thing that I could tell her that I would say to work on is, and I know what her goal was. Her goal was to keep it calm and to be confident and to stay, but it was just kind of, all the way through. Just and I know you can't be too excited and you can't be too solemn with this kind of topic. So that's a little hard, but I liked it. I thought, yes, this is something that if I needed that service, I would definitely want to talk to her.
Yes. Yeah. I think she did a great job. She absolutely, the hook at the beginning was, the emotion was great. I mean, that definitely catches my attention. I can remember, it's definitely a scenario that hopefully we won't face, but it absolutely happens, and probably more frequently than we would like to admit. If I was to give feedback, again, it would be, I felt like it was a little slow. Like I feel like she could have sped it up just a little bit. And I actually got a little lost and overwhelmed in how many things she said she would help me do, what she would help the patient do, which I think obviously is very important, that you want to pinpoint exactly what you can do. But for me, I don't know how to explain how I felt like the list was a little bit too long of what she could do, where I was like, oh gosh, I didn't even think of that. And then I get a little overwhelmed. So maybe if a little bit more of maybe statistics might be nice on what is the likelihood that this is going to happen to you, and how many face this alone, and how many people are going to need a partner and someone to navigate them. Does your family live out of town? That, just a little bit about that, and maybe take off a little of what I'm about to face would probably keep my interest a little bit longer. But overall, I think she did a great job. Absolutely trustworthy and believable. Very knowledgeable.
Yeah, I think, no, I mean, I would slightly disagree with that, because I loved the emotion that came out from the get-go. Like, do you feel this way? And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, I don't have breast cancer, but I'm like, yeah, I can imagine that's, and grabbing them and pulling them in. And, I mean, statistics matter if you have breast cancer, you know what I mean? Like, if
you're 100%, if it's you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Well, how many people do have it or get it or get the call?
Right. Yeah. But so I mean, I personally, and maybe, maybe the list was a little bit long, but I felt like she would be somebody that would be really helpful at this stage where I just got diagnosed and I'm like, oh my God, my whole world's falling apart. I have 50 million things to do now. I don't know what to do first, so I'm going to do nothing. But now I have an option. I can call Jenny.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And someone in the audience also asked, I think they were like, well, how is she gonna help these cancer patients? Like, will it be one-on-one or by video? So I think that I agree. It's I think her hook was fantastic because it immediately drew all of us in, and like you get right to the emotion of it. You can imagine what it feels like to get that call, and so like she did a great job immediately putting us right there and imagining what those types of feelings that we would be feeling. And she even named them, right? Like she even said like, scared, and, she went through that. Then I love that connection. And then I probably would have, my only suggestion would be to kind of shift a little bit to a more positive, because like Kimball said too, it was like this all the way through, which was emotional for sure. But I kind of want to grab and connect in the beginning with that hook, and then shift to like, I get it. There's 100 things swirling around in your mind right now, and I can help you, whether you're going to use that word navigate or help guide you with my experience. And then like, I think she talked about at the end, like the ally, companion, or partner, but like, we still don't know, is that one-on-one? Is it in a group, like, right? So I think Michelle had a good comment there. Yeah. Great hook.
Very great hook.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do the next one. Next up we have Pam Mooney.
Hi, my name is Pam. I'm a labor and delivery nurse, a nurse coach, and a nurse mentor for new and experienced labor and delivery nurses. I would like to take you on a journey today. I would like for you to imagine not having to go to work overwhelmed, exhausted, and mentally drained. I can do this with an 8-week course that I have provided in order to give you the training that is necessary to help you take care of the mentally exhausted patients and those deliveries. This course is jam-packed with tons of information that is very sensitive to what we do. These patients deserve to have the birth that they expect, and nurses deserve to be able to have the mental stability that they had back whenever they first started their nursing career. This will be a one-on-one community-based course where we can go in and talk about all the things that need to be addressed. The name of the course is Birth, Bank, and Beyond, and I would be more than honored if you would sign up to take this course with me in order to make a stand and to help make all births what we expect them to be. Patients are being traumatized by some of the care that's being provided and it's not your fault. It's the fault of the system that needs to be corrected. What we need to do is we need to understand what this consists of and how we can fix it. So I invite you today to join Birthbank and Beyond and sign up for the course and go through this journey with me and for the betterment of yourself and your patient. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go. Okay.
Oh, are we flipping? We're flipping back and forth. This is Charlene's turn to go first.
Perfect. All right, with Pam, I loved how she named her course, I think 3 times throughout the video, at the beginning, the middle, and then again at the end. And there was definitely the connection that she made with her audience, talking about go on this journey with me. I understand you're exhausted. And then kind of listed some of the emotions that nurses that are burnt out, what they feel like. I do think it was believable. I think it could have been a little bit more believable, maybe with some enhancement of the tone that she could use with her speech, like just more emphasis on I understand. I felt like it was a little monotone, but it would definitely be more believable if she put a little bit more into the tone of her speech. Who can benefit? I know she said she was a labor delivery nurse and coach at the beginning, so I don't know if she's specifically speaking to nurses that work on labor and delivery floors, or is it for any nurse that's feeling burnt out? And I think if, some of those could be cleared up, then I would definitely, want to purchase this course. And one more question I would have is it this for institutions? Would a nurse manager hire her to come in and help with the unit as a whole, or would it be a one-on-one situation? So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, and I would say, for everybody that's doing a pitch today, and if you've ever tried to go on video like that first time, it's difficult. Our default mechanism is to be monotone. So, I want to give kudos to everybody who is brave enough to go on video, because I've certainly have done that myself. But it's something that you do need to be aware of, because when you are talking to people and you are excited about what you're doing, it comes across way different.
Yes.
And because we've seen them talking about what they do, and they get really excited about what they do. But as soon as that record button goes on, it's like, hi, my name is Katie. And it's hard not to do that. So I do want to mention that. Kimball, you're back, and you're mute.
Okay, I kind of felt the same way, but you're right. Once that camera goes on, everything changes. You can be so excited at first, and then bam, the light hits, and it's like stage fright all over. So I kind of felt the same way, but I believed her. I feel like she probably could help, in that area. It was fairly interesting. It's just that stage fright thing, I think, that got me. And I get lost when it's not exciting enough, I guess. I kind of fizzle out, That's just me. I probably that little bit of ADD I got. You got to kind of keep my attention. So, but otherwise, I do feel like she was knowledgeable, and I believed her. So that's it.
I would say, I did get a little bit lost. I understand that there's a course here, and I think it's for the nurses and not for the patients per se. And it's for labor and delivery nurses. And there were some features like there's tons of work, I think she said.
Jam-packed.
Tons of info. It's jam-packed. I was like, oh gosh. So I'd really like to see more emphasis on the outcome. Like if I take this course, because the course itself is a means to an end. It's a means to an outcome. What is that outcome that I really want? Like what would be kind of the ideal picture of me going to work? Like what would my day look like, as opposed to being burnt out and exhausted? What will it look like at the end of this course?
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, unfortunately, I think this, like, stage fright kind of got the best of her. And it is so easy, and you can practice this, and believe me, everybody did practice this over and over and over again. And if you still are feeling like that, it is like, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So, because that's kind of the tricky part. And it's the same, like, we do record it because the idea of live pitch, like, really makes, can you imagine, really makes everybody sweat the idea of pitching it. So at least the recording lets you practice and you get to say what you want to say. But sometimes you get so focused on saying what you want to say, you end up kind of reading it, right? And that's where I think you kind of get lost, like Kimball said, where you kind of start to lose interest when it's all, the same energy, I would say, like in the same, like the monotone or the flat. And Pam is super passionate about what she's doing. It just didn't feel like, it didn't come across in the pitch.
It didn't.
Yeah. So I think that's nerves, and it just gets better the more you do it. It just gets better the more you practice. But that's a good, that's what everybody is figuring out is, man, recording these videos is harder than we thought.
It used to take me an hour and a half to record a 2-minute video. Like, seriously, it was ridiculous. And they were really bad too.
120 takes, and like, why
can't I just say something for 2 minutes? Is ridiculous. Wow.
Right. Yeah, it's tricky because you want to get it all in, and I think they all do. They want to get it all in to make sure you hear the value.
All right, here's Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bell, and I help healthcare organizations develop impactful nurse leaders so they slash the nursing turnover rates and create high-performing teams. I've been a nurse leader for over 20 years and a coach for nurse managers for the past 8. I've learned over this period of time that nurses get promoted because they provide exceptional patient care. They know exactly what a great nurse does. However, when they step into a management position, they don't know what a great leader does. And this is a problem because they continue to do the things that made them a successful nurse. They remain intensely focused on patient care-related tasks, and they're not aware of their expanded role of developing a strong team and meeting business goals. So now they're doing 2 jobs. They're doing the job they've always done while trying to incorporate management responsibilities into this. This leads to overwhelm, resulting in turnover of nurse managers and turnover of other employees who are exhausted from working with a stressed out nurse manager. I have a program, and it's called Fast Track to Impactful Leadership, from Rookie to Rockstar Nurse Manager. This is a 14-week coaching program in which nurse managers will learn what it takes to be a successful nurse leader. They'll learn how to develop and lead a strong, committed team, and they'll learn exactly what they need to do to meet the goals of the organization. So if you would like to reduce your turnover and improve your outcomes, let's talk. Click the link below to schedule an appointment. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair that she has that cool British accent.
I know.
She gets points just because everyone is interested in listening to her accent.
Yes.
Well, the funny thing about Sarah is, although she is from the UK, she's been in Texas for 20 years, and she sure has not she's not picked up the dialect at all.
Yeah.
No.
Do you want me to go first?
Was it my? Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. So Sarah was great. I thought she smiled. She had a little bit of enthusiasm. Initially, I had no idea what she was talking about because her accent was just kind of throwing me off. But I loved it. But then I wanted to listen because I wanted to know what she was talking about, right? So it was a two-way thing, like, what is she saying? Okay, let me listen because it sounds so cool. But I loved it. And once I realized that she was talking about, I caught the word coach in there. That really interested me. And then when she said something about managers, I realized, oh, she's coaching managers. Okay, this is great. So I think her program is probably fantastic, being that I've been a manager, and you're right, when they put you in that position, they just throw you in and say, hey, good luck. There's no book that comes with it, and you just have to kind of figure it out. It's budgets time. So here you go. Here are budgets, go for it, kind of thing. And so I've always thought that they should have some kind of coaching or training or something for managers. I think that is absolutely fantastic. So after listening for just a brief second, and like I said, her accent really made me more interested. Okay. I think her program is absolutely believable. She told me that I was going to go from a rookie to a rock star. I'm in. I mean, let's do it. That's what I feel about that. And it's going to reduce my turnover as well. Yes, that's all fantastic. So lots of great, exciting keywords. And I really love that she smiled with it. And she sounded like she was happy to be teaching someone this stuff. So, when the coach or the instructor is excited about it, it automatically makes your audience excited about it. So I got kind of excited. By the end of the thing, I'm like, sign me up.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like her.
Yes, I completely agree. I think she did an excellent job. I loved the sequencing of her topics was perfect for me. She definitely presented herself as an expert in the area just by first off talking about her experience, and she knows what it's like, and then going into, some making that connection with the nurses by saying it's, you're kind of thrown into everything. And then she talks about what goes wrong and here's how I can help. And she almost paused and then, with enthusiasm said, I can get you. I mean, it was a very clear messaging. And again, she listed a solution to the problem. I think she did a great job. Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely sign up for her course.
What do you guys think of that 40 weeks? Because she had
40, it's 14.
Oh, 14.
Oh,
I heard it too. The audio was, I think, between the audio and the accent, it was a little tricky. And somebody in the audience said, "Yes, 40 weeks of training. Give me that."
I was like, "Oh God, 40 weeks of training. Do I really need that much?" But at some level, like it is a very intense, because it's abominable that there's no training for nurse managers. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, they probably do need 40 weeks of training just to have the basis, but it is a little daunting to go into something.
Yeah.
14. Yeah.
I think 14 weeks is perfect. 40 weeks, not so much.
Yeah.
14 is absolutely great.
Yeah. To get you over that, that 3 month.
Yeah.
What have I just done?
Yes.
I loved her enthusiasm. Sarah is clearly comfortable in front of the camera. You can see that. And I don't know if that's just because she's been doing it this long and she's comfortable. And some people's personalities are just like that. But she also, it's her energy, right? It's the enthusiasm that you immediately, I agree with Kimball, she is super excited about what she's doing, and it comes across in the pitch. I think she, came out right at the gate and said, I'm helping organizations. So who she's working with. She established credibility, like Charlene said, and then hit those key things. As a manager, I remember too, the first time I was a manager, it was like, you're putting all the reports, and yes, I needed to learn how to do the reports, but really it's like, how do I affect what's going on the report? How do I decrease turnover and increase my outcomes? That's not the Excel sheet learning part. It's how do I learn the stuff that's going to matter, what's on the sheet? So yeah, I think she did a great job. Her energy definitely came through.
Yeah, definitely. I would echo everything. And you're right. It's like, they teach you exactly what goes on the Excel spreadsheet as if you need a PowerPoint lesson or, a Word office lesson, and it has nothing to do with it. It's like, how do I impact? And Sarah sounds like the person that you want to go to
Yes.
figure that out. Oh my God. I mean,
You're like, I've got a list of people, like, where were you? What? I don't even know what year that was. I was a first-time manager. Where were
That's
you?
exactly what I was thinking. Where was she when I started that manager job? I would have totally bought this.
Michelle said that too. Manager coaching is so needed. Like every nurse.
Yes.
I mean, I might have considered management, going into management if there was some kind of training, but I saw what they were doing and I was like,
yes,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Any nurse who's ever been a manager is like feeling that pain point right there.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely. And she invited us to call her. Like,
Yes.
I really like that.
On that link,
at the very
schedule,
end.
the call to action at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so here's Meredith.
Hi there, I'm Marita Etherington.
Marita.
8-week roadmap to becoming a mental wellness RN. This course is for any nurse that has it on her heart or his heart and soul to want to make a difference in a unique and meaningful way with your clients. We are in the middle of a mental health crisis on a global level. I believe that nurses should and can be part of a solution. You will take your empathy and compassion and combine it with the knowledge that I will share with you to help you to empower your clients to cope with some of their stress, overcome some of their stress, become more resilient, and lead lives that are filled with more joy and less stress. We will have 2 one-to-one Zoom calls where we will get laser focused on what it is that you want to do with your business by using my techniques and the information that I share with you. We will also have weekly calls in a small group setting, and you will have access to templates that I use and also resources that you can share with your clients.
We're getting echoey again, Katie.
My course is 1, you're going to be able to start your own business. 2, you are going to develop greater self-awareness about yourself. And 3, you will immediately use this knowledge in whatever area of nursing you're currently working in. We will look at things like therapeutic communication, common mental health diagnoses and best practice. We will look at stress. What does this do to the body? What does this do to our ability to care for ourselves? We will look at relationship issues. We'll look at boundaries. We'll look at effective and healthy coping strategies that you can use as well as share with your clients. We will look at how to do an assessment. I have 3 bonuses. 1, mindset. What's holding you back? What will push you to the next level? 2, marketing. And 3, how to get started. Thanks so much, guys.
Were you able to hear the whole thing, or was it?
Yeah. There was like there was a little bit of background, but at first it was almost like the sound like went apart, but then it came right back together.
Mm-hmm.
Were you guys able to hear the whole pitch okay?
I think so.
Okay.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly, but enough to, piece it together. I mean, yes. I feel like I have a good understanding.
Okay, so this is Marita, and she is, well, I guess I can't say that, right? Like, do you remember what she's doing? I want to fill in all the gaps.
Yes, it was definitely interesting. She does a great job with her presentation, and she comes across as very calming, very reassuring. And when she talks about being a coach, I mean, that is excellent. I like her tone. It definitely changes when she is, switching topics. I think that's fabulous. Definitely believable. If I had a suggestion to make, it almost would be the order in which she talks about things. My hook would be, we are in a global mental health crisis. That almost might pull the listener in a little bit more immediately than waiting until, the second part to do so. I would just I think she did an excellent job. She talked about exactly what you're going to get with the course, which is amazing. I mean, I know that this is where I'm going to get 2 calls with her. There are bonuses. I know what we're going to address, and I know how long it's going to be. So I think those are definitely positives with her pitch. I would absolutely buy her course because she just comes across as very authentic and trustworthy. So it would just be the rearranging of the order for me, but otherwise it's great. Yeah.
Kimball?
Okay. Okay, yes. So Marita, that's her name, right? Marita?
Mm-hmm. Marita?
Yeah. I liked her. I think I would remember it. I think I agree with Charlene. I think that the order in which she talked about things should be changed up a little bit. I don't think she grabbed me from the beginning. I don't think she grabbed me until she started talking about mental health crisis.
Yep.
Okay. So that kind of should have been in the beginning, but otherwise I think she's offering a good program. She seems to be knowledgeable. She definitely is more pitching with her offers and her bonuses and that kind of thing. So I thought that was a little bit of a different spin on it than some of the others. But yeah, I thought she was trustworthy and believable and all that good stuff. So I liked her.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would agree. Yeah, she's definitely likable. I think the hook needs a little bit of work. Like, what would draw you in? Because you have like those first 3 seconds are really, really important.
Yeah.
You know, my brain's trying to decide if I'm going to, listen to you or drown you out.
Right.
And everybody's doing that because we're hit with so many messages constantly. I mean, when you're flipping through the channel, they get 4 words before you're like, nah, I'm not interested, not interested, not interested. Yes, I'm interested, and it's like, so that has to be really, really powerful. Yeah. And I think there was more of a pitch in there because I think you have to earn the right to pitch, of course, but it's also nice. So it kind of go both ways. Like if there was a really, really strong hook, we might be more interested in, that the course that she's offering at the end, but without the strong hook in the beginning to pull us through to the end. I think we needed a little bit more information before we started talking about a course.
Yeah. I would agree with a lot of what's been said. I think her presence, she absolutely comes off incredibly authentic to me. So she's very trustworthy and believable. But like, that's what I wanted. I think it's all there. When Charlene, when you were saying I want it reordered, I was like, yes, that was me. Like I would kind of strengthen that hook up in the beginning, but out of everything that she said, we're in a mental health crisis, should have been where we started. And then it like immediately, people recognize that based on what's been going on for the past year. And now they want to know, what are you going to do about it? Like, what are you doing? Like, is there a way out of this? Like, because who signed up for a way out of this, right? What's been happening. So, I like that she gave information about it, but I wanted to really pull us into why we should want to know what's going on with her course.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of go back to that because the mental health crisis, I know when nurses call me and they want to talk about their course or program and stuff, if they start out and tell me they're a psych NP and they want to talk about, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm already in. Like, tell me more. Like, and I'm looking for that main hook that I can go with because I'm already interested because it's about mental health and the mental health crisis that's out there. It's important.
Yeah. It's a huge need. And that's what, I don't know let me know, Katie, if you need me to pull up Esther's, the first one that we weren't able to.
Right. I got 2 more.
Okay.
All right. So the next one is Eileen. So we're going to listen to this one.
Are you ready to conquer overwhelm, worry, and anxiety? Get off the emotional roller coaster. Stop the self-doubt and overthinking. I'm Eileen McDonald, and as a nurse, a coach, and a biofeedback trainer, I have helped professional women learn the essential skills needed to recognize, reset, and recover from overwhelm, anxiety, and worry. And they can take back control over the direction of their lives. My clients tell me they wish they had access to these skills much earlier because it would have saved them doubt, stress, frustration, and sleepless nights. I feel so strongly young professional women deserve a head start in mastering these essential skills. I developed a program. It's called the Young Professional Women's Guide to Crushing Overwhelm and Anxiety. This 12-week coaching program, I will teach you the keys to restore the calm in your life, build your confidence, identify situations that trigger your overwhelm, and unlock your potential so you can succeed in this fast-paced world. And during the program, you will receive recorded weekly sessions, which include exercises that can be applied immediately to your everyday life. You will get weekly live coaching calls, which will support your progress. And as a bonus, you will receive 2 one-on-one 30-minute coaching calls with me. So are you ready? Are you ready to crush the overwhelm and anxiety? If so, I invite you on the journey. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Okay. Eileen has the likability factor. I almost kind of don't care what she's selling. I just want to work with her.
It does.
Well, that's a positive.
Yeah, you can't really teach that. She just has that. There's something about her that's very warm and approachable. And
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Her presence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Kimball, is it your turn to start? Are you starting first?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't
I'll
know.
think it first. That's fine.
I lost track.
So, yes, Eileen is very likable. Okay. And I think what she has to offer is probably great. She's talking about reducing anxiety and restoring calm. And I really felt that in her voice, But when she started talking about the workout part, she mentioned something about some workouts. I wanted her to pep up a little bit more. I wanted her to be a little more excited just during certain parts of it, I guess. But I felt like you're right. She's very likable. And I would be interested in talking to her more because I felt like she was likable and she looked sweet and very kind, And yes, if you're going to reduce my anxiety and make me calm again, I think that's pretty important. She did spell out what she was offering, a 12-week program with weekly sessions, live coaching calls. I think that's all fantastic. So the information in that was great. Again, I think it's maybe that camera light coming on and it's all just kind of staying, straight across because we don't want to get too crazy and we don't want to get too solemn and it just kind of comes off right in the middle. But overall, I believed her. I thought she was very trustworthy. She looked very friendly and kind, and she did restore my calm during that little piece of 2-minute thing. And I would definitely be interested in talking to her more about what she has to offer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with Kimball. I think if I was to add anything as a suggestion at the end, when she says, feel free to reach out to me, or however she worded, it should be followed up with an email address or a phone number, or just don't mention that part. I mean, that's a little minutia, but that just came to my mind. But I think she absolutely clearly defines who the program is for, the benefits, and especially with that testimonial in there that, nurses wish that they had these skills beforehand. I think that was an excellent, strong selling point. That's about the only difference I have in Kimball. I liked her, very authentic, trustworthy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would like an example because there's some different degrees of anxiety, and I'm an anxious person, and I'm certainly not the age range that she was talking about, but I tend to be a very anxious person. But is she working with people that would be clinically anxious, or are they what type of person? Could we have some sort of, because I need to know, is she my type of anxiety where, I'm biting my nails or something, or is she the type of anxiety that I'm ripping my hair out, and it's it's something very serious, and maybe should even be clinically treated or something. So, or is she on some kind of continuum there? I don't know if that's, what do you think about that, Jill?
That didn't jump out at me, and maybe it's because I'm, closer to it. But like I got it as she's talking to young professional women who are overwhelmed and dealing with anxiety, and she can help them. Because I love alliteration, but I heard recognize, reset, and recover. Like I'll help you restore the calm. I heard a lot of those things, which I think I heard her say triggers, like recognize triggers. So like I think that the people who are feeling that are going to be like, ooh, I need that. I need to recognize my triggers. I need to know how to reset. I need to know how to calm my restore my calm, get over these sleepless nights kind of thing. So I thought she did a great job. I love that in the beginning she mentioned a biofeedback trainer.
Yes.
But I kind of want to know more about that. Like, how does that fit? Because that is actually really unique. And so that could potentially make her, solution, her course different than any other life coach or, any other career coach or whoever it is who's like helping with anxiety and overwhelm. So I that's my only suggestion is probably I would have liked to heard her kind of tie that in more. I think that's in the recognized part, but she said it caught my attention in the meantime because it immediately gave me credibility. I wanted to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I agree. Now that you say that, I remember the biofeedback, and we didn't quite get all the features to biofeedback, but it was like it did capture my attention, and I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting.
It immediately made me think she's going to be different than somebody else.
And I think, and for anybody listening too, you might be like, oh my God, how are you going to fit all of this stuff into a 2-minute pitch? but you have to figure out what that hook is. And the hook is the most important thing. Like, what are you going to garner somebody's attention with and hold it so that you can have these extra minutes or seconds to talk about the other stuff that we're talking about.
That's true. And I don't know that I got like the hook. You could have, that's true. That's a great point because she could have, I'm thinking about some of the other pitches, how they pulled you in. And it's like, she could have like, imagine what it would feel like if, like putting you in describing what that feels like when you are in that anxious, overwhelmed. Now, what if you recognize those cues, tie it to the biofeedback so that you can, recognize, reset, and recover. Like, I like that. Like, that could have been a great. So I think her a stronger hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jill, it's like you've done this before.
I'm a messaging junkie.
All right, we got you, Neil.
I love the Wonder Woman.
And before you even have your coat off, your friend from Nights comes in and goes, go home quick. You're working with her. And you know who her is. Beatrice the bully. You know exactly what your day is going to look like. She's going to be nowhere to be found. And when you do find her, she's going to go, you mean I have to teach you things you were supposed to learn in nursing school? She is going to talk about you at the nurse's station. And when you get home, you're going to check Facebook and you're going to see she wrote a post about how she had the worst day of her life because she had to work with you. I'm Dr. Joniel Conley. I've been a registered nurse for over 40 years. I have a bachelor's of science in nursing, an MBA, and a doctorate in organizational leadership. My dissertation topic was bullying in the perioperative nursing workplace. Based on my research and the research of others, I've created a 4-week course called Arm Yourself with Bullying PPE so that you, the nurse at the bedside, can come to work, have a great day, deliver super care, and not get the life sucked out of you by the bullies on your unit. Some people say that organizations should take charge of this. Zero tolerance, codes of conduct, all of those things are great and they work part of the time. But I am here to help you, the nurse who has to work with Beatrice or Queenie or the witch whose name starts with B. This course is based on proven strategies and techniques, and it will teach you what type of PPE to put on in what type of bullying situation so that you can be protected from the virus of bullying that's infected our profession. So the next time you have to work with Beatrice, she got this covered. You are going to be able to protect yourself from her negative words and her negative actions because you are going to be armed with bullying PPE.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Oh my gosh.
She knocked that out of the park.
She absolutely was perfect. I mean, it was, wow. I mean, I think she gets the gold star, for just capturing, the enthusiasm and clearly identified the problem. She connects with the audience because everyone has felt that way at some point in their career. Some more than others, but absolutely. And she talked about how exactly she's going to help you. And when she does help you, she tells you how, you're going to feel. She identifies those positive keywords about feeling like you've got this. You can put on your armor. And I just thought it was wonderful. Very, absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
Kimball.
Okay, I'm coming. Yes, I was muted. Sorry. I thought she was great. Now, let me just tell you, in the beginning, I wondered, what is she talking about? Why is she telling this story, right? Because it was a little bit of a long story. But I love how she then eventually brought it around to bullying, and what area. And I love that she made a reference back to the story. It tied it all together for me. Okay, so I love that. She did a great job. She was enthusiastic. She caught my attention. I would definitely remember this. Okay, she was believable. She did put her credentials out there pretty good, and wow, I thought that was a really long list of credentials, which I don't really care much about it, but I think it's great. Some people may. And I think I know who it benefits. She's very trustworthy. And honestly, working in the peri-op area, I know a lot about bullying. And definitely I could see where it could be needed, especially in that kind of area. So yes, I liked her. I think she did a fantastic job. Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm one of those people that you have to catch me in the first 3 seconds or you lose me. So I was kind of like, what is she talking about? What is she talking about?
Beatrice.
Right, but there's something of an art to that too, because I think you can grab with a hook as well, because now there's this so this woman, what is she talking about? And she's very enthusiastic, and I need to know.
Right. Yes, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah,
I love how she tied it all back in together.
Yeah. And, I found myself nodding my head, and but the one thing that I love about this, that it's taking a topic that somehow nursing has made so boring and so horrible and just dreadful to talk about, and now here you have a woman that's like Beatrice the witch or whatever you want to call her, and say it as it is, like in the vernacular that we're all saying, like, and to give that scenario where Beatrice is talking about how awful her shift was.
Right.
I mean, I can see this. I can visualize the whole thing, and what do I, as the nurse, do about it? And I think that was perfectly clear. What's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. She is so energetic and enthusiastic and likable. You can't help but pay attention to that, to that pitch. In my mind, I agree with Kimball. Well, I love the way she talks about it. I love the way she's arm yourself. Like, it's really, you can't wait on the organization. It's what are you going to do? Because you could wait all day long and they may or may not do a thing, but what do you do in the meantime? So I love that her, she's telling you that her program is geared to helping you like survive your next shift. It's not about like, here's what you need to do and pass it on to your supervisor and complain. No, it's like, what are you going to do when you got to walk in the door? How are you going to survive? And you can have what did she say? Have a great day, give super care, and, because you're armed. So I love how she describes what her program is, what you're getting. I agree with Kimball, the doctoral dissertation, like that can go for me. To me, you can establish credibility in lots of different ways. And she has been in leadership for a long time. So I think you can say I've been as a nurse, an experienced nurse leader, or I've been in nursing leadership for years, and I've seen this. I've heard story after story after story. It doesn't matter what hospital, it doesn't matter what department or specialty. It's, it's across the board. So I would probably drop that as well. But
just a little bit of it.
Just a little bit of it. Yeah. But it's, again, it's like, where's the fine line? And you learn that as you do it, of where's the fine line of you want to establish trustworthiness, you want to establish credibility, but you also don't want to give a resume. Like nobody cares.
Right.
Like you said, you're like, I don't care. Like, just, if I believe you and let's go. Now tell me
that's where the art of this comes in as well, because sometimes it does matter, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes we do need credentials, but in this case, they were unnecessary.
Yeah. I think her story was...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I think her story was too fun for the credentials. I think it was too fun. Yeah. I think it was a fun story. It was a fun, she was giving it in such an enthusiastic way. It was so much fun. So the credentials just kind of took a pause and then back to the fun.
Yeah.
And that's probably a good point, because if she were pitching to organizations a bullying program, doctoral dissertation might have been right, but in a nurse's, and I felt like, she was looking right at us. She's like, look, you're going in, come on. Don't care about the doctoral dissertation.
Right. Especially as bedside nurses. I think the doctoral, the PhD kind of turns you off as a bedside nurse, because you're like, oh, you're not a nurse, which is not true, but you don't understand what we have to do at the bedside.
Nursing nurse. You're not a nursing nurse enough for me.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's bullying right there.
No.
You're not a nurse.
I know. I was like, what did you just say? Like, that was literally right after the bullying pitch. Jamil,
there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. Jill, you got the next one, which is the last one.
I am going to do my best. So you'll have to.
Right, so we'll talk about this last one. Is going to be Esther, and we're going to listen to hers again. We had a little bit of issue with her video, which is why we're doing it this way. But so so far we've heard 7 2-minute pitches. They were all amazing. They were great in their own rights. To have the courage to come out and do this in front of a large live audience is ridiculous. So if you're thinking about how can you do this as well, this is take some notes here. The hook is really important, that first couple of seconds, and getting some messaging coaching is really, really important to move forward, and it's just something you have to practice and just keep doing.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see everything okay?
No, you got to add it to the stream.
How do I do that? It says I hit share screen.
So I added and make sure you hit that audio button, the share audio. So go ahead and, oh dear.
StreamYard is sharing my screen.
Yes, we see it now because I added you to the stream. So we can definitely see it. Go ahead and play.
Hi.
Can you hear that?
Are you a nurse?
Yes.
Do you want to start your own healthcare recruitment business but do not know where to start? Do you want to start now and can't afford to wait until you get a business qualification? Do you want to start your business debt-free? Well, if you have answered yes to any of these questions, then my 8-week insider guide to how to start your healthcare recruitment business might be what you're looking for. I'm Esther, and I help nurses start their own healthcare recruitment business using their skills and knowledge without having to buy into a franchise and start their business debt-free. This guide will help you get from not knowing where to start to ready to launch and unlock your potential as a business owner. This guide has 4 simple steps, which are 1, ownership. This step will help you transition from employee to business owner so that you can start with the right mindset and help you work on your business instead of in it. The second step is foundation, which will help you design your business model and be clear on who you want to serve and create policies and procedures for your business. The third step is build, which will equip you with the right tools to recruit, hire and manage your team and your clients. The final step is optimize, which will help you place your business right in front of your potential clients and also help you set up systems which will help you run your business smoothly. This course features 7 short weekly modules and 1 bonus module in the 8th week. 1 live empowering coaching call at the end of each module where you'll be able to ask questions, gain clarity, and I will be able to provide you with tips on how to complete your weekly activities. You will also have the opportunity to be part of a community with other students where you can get ongoing support in a non-judgmental environment. Thank you.
Am I going first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Esther is sweet, very sweet, I thought, and probably very knowledgeable, but she really talked really fast, and that could be nerves, especially at first. She kind of slowed down when she was going over her offers, and I thought that was good. She wanted to make sure we understood what you're getting, and that's really great. But everything else was fast to me. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but and I think she needed more practice so that she wouldn't read maybe as much. I could tell she was reading it. So maybe more practice, but I think the business itself, she is probably very knowledgeable about. I believe that she knows what she's doing with it and could probably really help you get started in that kind of business. She just needs to slow it down a little bit, I think.
Yes.
That nerves will get the best of you. That's what I think.
All of us.
Yes.
Like it just, especially in the beginning.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I agree, Kimball, with the speed of the presentation. It was just a little bit hard. I felt like I had to really listen a lot harder. And I didn't feel like there is a huge, like a hook at the beginning to pull me in. However, she came across very believable and trustworthy and knowledgeable on the subject. I think one suggestion I would give is I'm not sure that it's necessary for her to list out each step. Like in step 1, you'll do this. I think she could have said, I have a 4-step and then just name, optimize, and I loved how she specified what the buyer is going to get, the coaching calls. There's a bonus. I think she delivered that part of it very well. Yeah.
I would say there's 2 types of pitches that, we definitely need to be aware of. So there's the type of pitch where the nurse already knows that they want to start a recruitment or a staffing agency. And then Esther's coming in and saying, well, if you want to start an agency, then I'm the person that wants to, that you should go with, and this is why, and I got this multi-step process and blah, blah, blah. Right. But then there's the pitch to nurses that, they're like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, there's got to be something out there. Right. And so she's definitely talking to the latter group, which is a much, much smaller group. But there might be potential for her to speak to a group that's kind of like looking for opportunities, in which case, so I think we have to evaluate this pitch on and assume that she's speaking to nurses who already know that they want to start a staffing agency or a recruitment agency, as I say in Australia.
Right.
So from that end, definitely think that she was credible and believable, and certainly remember. And if the staffing agency was something that I wanted to start, I would have tuned in. Like I would have been like, yes, tell me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, definitely, again, several of these, like it's nerves that get them because, especially when you're on the camera, but it just, the more you practice, the better that gets. Because what I would have liked to see Esther come out from in that beginning is say that she owns like I'm currently an owner of a healthcare staffing or healthcare recruitment agency, and I get questions all the time on how did I do it, and make that the big question, I think. And she said the word, I heard it in there once, was franchise. And I know that's a big hang up for a lot of people. They think it's the only way to go. So I probably would have used that as my hook of, are you thinking about starting a staffing agency, but think you have to go with a franchise and buy into an expensive franchise? Because I heard her say debt free, like she kept saying without going into debt. I think she's got the real pain points in there about how do I do this without going into tons of debt, and is it possible to even do without a franchise? So I think it's in there. It just, again, like needs to be like just, massage a little bit more, like to really pull that out from the beginning. Do you think you need to start a franchise and go into a ton of debt starting out a healthcare recruitment agency? Like now you're like, oh,
yes.
I'm here to tell you I've done it and didn't have to do it.
It's like dispelling a conventional wisdom, and that is a very powerful marketing technique. Because everybody thinks this, but you're saying that.
The opposite.
I heard her say debt free, and then she scooted right by it really fast. So,
but there was the money.
Yes, right, and that was
make money.
That's what cost.
Make money, save money.
Debt free. Oh, great. Let me see.
Right, and it's make money, save money, and that's what you heard, right? So it was in there, but that's the way you can really, especially if that's a roadblock, and it is, like Esther knows, that is a roadblock for a lot of people, nurses pursuing this. So like make use of that, right, and flip it. I think that would be a great hook to get them in and really focus on that.
I mean, that was one of the reasons I never did staffing agency for the Nursepreneurs, was because I'm like, oh, you can't do that. I mean, it's going to be really expensive. And then, I met a nurse who was like, no, it doesn't have to be expensive. And that's exactly what Esther is saying. And it works. I can tell you 100%. It's a great business model.
And I loved her 4 simple steps, like saying that I have a 4 simple step process. Again, I think that's really appealing. Like, is this going to be can I even do this? When you say you've got a process and can say that it's a 4-step process, like I already start to believe that I can actually achieve it. I can get through what you're going to tell me I got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, that was
our, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say that was all 8 contestants. So we're going to wrap up here. Jill, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it's like I've been astounded it's the lots of weeks that I've been working with these nurses, but I cannot I want to shout from the rooftops the type of topics that these nurses are going after to solve. Like these problems are not like easy peasy, put a Band-Aid on problem. Like they are going after some tough issues because essentially they're sick of it not being solved, right? And it's just, man, what a testament to what a passionate, purpose-driven nurse can accomplish to really go after this and make an impact. And it's some are for patients, like Jenny is for patients, some are for nurses, but every issue that they're hitting is a big issue, a big gap in the healthcare system. So I'm crazy excited this year about the businesses that are coming through.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And also, I think it goes to the point that Jill, one of the reasons that we started the Pitchfest and stuff was to get the nurses to do the pitch, because it doesn't have to take 2 years to get to your pitch point. It took 8 weeks for them to go from idea to pitch. And that's how long it should really take. You can't spend the next, like I said, 2 years trying to think, oh, what am I going to say? I got to tweak my website. I got to do this. It doesn't matter if they have a website or not. It's irrelevant. It's great if they have one, but it's not going to preclude business from occurring. So, having that rapid ascension straight to pitch is super, super important to move the business. In fact, it's like the only thing that's going to move your business forward. So you could spend the next 2 years tweaking your website, but if you actually want to make money, you need to have a pitch. If you actually want to change the world, you have to have a pitch. And that's what we did here.
You got to get out there and let people know what you're doing. And like you said, you could certainly, any of these, they could have dragged it out for 6 months, but you're not helping anybody in your office.
That's right.
Right? Like you can have the best idea, but until you do the work and like hunker down and just make yourself show up and say, okay, I'm doing this piece because I know I want to, and it is having that deadline helps. But you know, they showed up and they made sure that they were going to be eligible for Pitchfest so they could get it out there and start actually making the impact they want to make. And I love it. It's just, it is Chris. It's like, oh, I just want to be like, yes. We're doing it.
All right. So tomorrow we are doing 5-minute pitches with the nurses. So we're going to hear more about what their pitch is, and we'll give you the criteria for judging. Same time tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm really excited. So we will see you guys then.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Bye.